garden in half. We talk about nurture versus nurture. First half of the garden is all about nurture, showing how we can incorporate Australian natives into our landscapes at home. This is our diversity garden with a snapshot, really, of plants from around Australia. Some areas are better represented than others, but just keep in mind, not everything from the rainforest can grow down here. We're really working at the different styles, different species that actually will grow. So if you see it growing down here from the Northern Territory or something, you know you've got a good chance of it growing in your garden. Queensland bottle tree coming up on our left. That's just mine growing down here as well. But you can see the second and third one, they've lost their leaves and new leaves coming on. Gets its name from the shape of the trunk holding water within its trunk. Now we saw the bandicoot, some of us saw something fly across the path. Assuming that was a bandicoot, have a look in the red sand to our left. You can see all those big holes. That's where the bandicoots dig for bugs and beetles. They turn over something like 3.9 tonne of soil every year. They are great aerators. Through the trees is our water saving garden. This is all about conserving our precious resources, which with the water levels in the dams just dwindling quite a bit. This is where you can have a drought tolerant garden, have a garden that relies on 100% rainfall depending on where you live. This top garden is a dry terrace, and it has arid and semi-arid plants that don't need much water at all. In fact, we've turned the irrigation off the top, the dry and the moderate garden. Wet garden we will still water. So knowing where you live, how much rainfall you have, adapting that and selecting plants for your local area. You can have a lovely garden, go away on holidays and come back and it's going to be fine. Garden on my left, the individual garden beds. This is our home garden. Takes us on a journey of home garden design from your cottage garden through to your more contemporary architecture. Sorry, no it's not, that's the next one. Home garden, future garden. All the garden beds are individual colours, and those those garden bed edgings are actually the hessian tubes jammed with sand, so it forms a nice hard hedge. This is our home garden. Takes us on a journey of home garden design. And further down is our children's backyard garden. So the 7 colourful poles you see in the centre are just an artistic interpretation of the Boonwurrung seasonal calendar. So that's your sculpture. As we turn the corner, this is the end of stage 1, beginning of stage 2. You'll see that the growth rate of the trees is very different to the first stage. We're actually, I can now say it, this year we are celebrating 20 years of being the Australian Garden opening. So next year now can say this year. This is our river walks at our rivers, lakes and mountains. All the waterways are man-made. The 2 hills that we see to the left and the right of the water, they were actually much taller sand hills. In Boonwurrung time, of course, the sand quarry would have taken the tops of those down. Over on the right-hand side, these are Carinthia fisifolias, or better known as flowering gums. They are grafted for 2 reasons, size and colour. So we've split them up in colour, so scarlet and then orange, but we've mixed them up in the sizes through here. You can see babies and minis. So any tick of the clock, mind you I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks, any tick of the clock, the scarlet will be out. However, if you see a scarlet, I'll let you know because the orange ones are up, out a little bit further up, so we'll see those ones. But on our left, this is our research garden. The project's called Raising Rarity. We're looking at endangered species, learning how to cultivate by seed and by cutting. So really trying to put a backstop to extinction. These should go onto the market, the retail market that everyone can purchase, and then you can do your bit to stop extinction. Okay, over on our right hand side we've got some orange orange flowering gums, yes. Twistifolias. Aren't they lovely? On our left-hand side, we have rows of mallee eucalypts. Now these have been selected for their eucalyptus oil content, or either content or quality. The blue mallee is one that you probably know best, which is the Sisto's brand. It's got the blue tinge to the leaves. And the Sisto actually donated these trees to us. So full circle. Hill on our left is the housing hill with some rare and endangered alien species from across the southern part of Australia,
Yung maliliit na
Victoria,
bunga.
South Australia and Western Australia.
Ayun.
On our right we have our arbour garden. Lots of different colours in here. And also showing full horticultural potential of a lot of different species that you could turn into hedges. For instance, in the first row we've got callistemon, which is one of my favourite callistemons. It hasn't got any colour out there, and it's called hot pink because the flowers are hot pink. All the grevilleas are in a standard form on a silky oak. We've got hedges made out of banksias, callistemons, melaleucas. What else have we got? Corpheus, acacias. We'll see those as we go down. All the grevilleas are in a standard form on a silky oak. And my favourite one is coming up to on the right. It's called Billy Bonkers. It's in amongst the yellow kangaroo paw. Billy Bonkers. Named after a dog.
No.
All my research tells me yes, it's named after a dog named Billy, but it does not tell me the breed. So I think we all need to put our own little interpretation. And we all had a dog that's a bit bonkers. Mine was a Labradoodle. The Labrador ate everything, the poodle was just nuts. So that's my interpretation. Kangaroo paw en masse with landscape scarlet coming past the bus now. That garden bed's the far end of the kangaroo paw. That was out about 4 weeks before the one that was closest to us. So that was interesting. Don't know why. Oh dear. We've got an acacia, Pravissima, which essentially is a dome shape, but we've left that sort of slanted look to it, but we've neatened it up as a hedge. Just a little bit different. Kangaroo paw not kangaroo paw, pig face on our left. Did you know they grow pig face on the space station? It's edible. 2 parts to it. So the ones that you can see now, which are the those little leaves, the succulent leaves. The second part is the flower. After the flower finishes, that bulb grows bigger, and that's edible as well. Now, has anyone tried any pig face? Okay, do you all want to know what it tastes like? Okay. So I had it on Gari, which was very salty. As for those that don't know Gari, formerly known as Fraser Island, because of course it's very salty. And then I tried it back home and it was very bitter. So I've decided I'm not really convinced. I don't really enjoy it. But I've not tried that bowl bit. No, I'm not in a hurry to try it again. This is what we call melaleucas spit. Melaleucas are also known as paper bark, very thin layers of bark used by indigenous people for many different things, including toilet pavement, baby blankets.
Ito nakakain.
In the Northern Territory, they use about a metre per person per canoe. These are called snowy summer, as you can tell. They've got white flowers over the top and it looks like it's been snowing, although it is summer.
Snow.
Looking through, there's a couple of gaps here in the tree, so we can see through to our olive slate. There's one of our waterfalls. And the second waterfall is finishing or starting. There's a little bit dribbling under the bridge there. I think that's finishing. So that's our Rockpool waterway. And the escarpment wall, the wall that Frosted leaf leads to the weird and wonderful garden, as the name suggests. It's just got some unusual plants. It could be that it's the flowers, it could be the trunks or the leaves or the shape, it could be anything that makes it a little bit unusual. There was a kangaroo tore up there, British now. It has two common names, one is called black and one is called midnight. It's black and lime green. It's not up there at the moment, so we're looking at when it's in season. So that's really October, November you find it. Our seaside garden to our left. Now what we're showing here is the harsh conditions around our coastal regions where the wind blows our plants sideways. Now the wind hasn't done that, we've done that, and it's fairly easy and you can do it too. Just, this is a melaleuca called Catacalaris. Now we started when it was younger, more pliable. We just leaned it over, pinned it down so that it would grow on an angle. So it's a bonsaiing type trick. So that's fairly easy to do on a larger scale.
Jaden, you want some?
The form of plantings to the left and the right of us being the little sleeping fig or Ficus microcapa. What we've done here is we've pleached up the trunks, cut along the top. So trying to achieve a solid hedge on stilts to give us shade lines, and it's been used exactly how what it was the vision was to have people sitting underneath these trees. The grasses are a lovely habitat for our southern brown bandicoots, of which we have between 1 and 200 of them. So natural habitat where they can get in and make nests, and their predators get away from predators, cats, dogs and foxes. We have a couple of other man-made habitats over by the hedges. We've got cameras above, we're just checking out whether they actually like them or not. Because not everyone has the ability to have all these big grasses to protect their bandicoots. Maybe you can do something on a smaller scale. However, the evidence isn't necessarily backing up what we're thinking. We have cameras inside some of those habitats, and one bandicoot was observed going in, turning around, and going straight back out again. So obviously it's like a habitat. But we haven't got all the data, so that's not, that's just what was observed. This is our latest garden to be opened. It's not officially open, it's not quite finished. We've got a couple of taller trees to come in here. But this is our how-to garden. It's got native edibles and medicinal plants in here. It's accessible from many layers, many areas. You've also showing examples of laryngeal plants. So you can see there's ground cover, some little shrubs. We've got a macadamia tree to come in here and a couple of eucalypts to come in. Now, over on my right, there's an almond bulb over there. See? Baby. Oh, it's still quite big actually. We've got three babies, and that's the oldest one. This is the first one that's had a dive down. So the other bird that's in there is going to dive down in a minute. That's a little pied cormorant, and he dives down for yabbies and fish. Now the water's a bit rough, but there's grass in there, and that's eelgrass, and the yabbies and fish hide under there. The cormorants eat up to 7 kilograms of food every day. That's a lot of food. That's almost more than their body weight, I would imagine. We have the long-necked, not that I've seen for a long time, but the long-necked turtles are in here, and they're about just smaller than, bigger than a saucer size. The ones in Melbourne are much bigger than a dinner plate. They're much older, of course. We don't see them, they hide. Down on our left is our backyard garden, so lawn and decking with a very interesting upside down tree called the acacia cauciformis or cascade. That's our nice dry garden, so that's plants and comes on the wall. That's just got your peaches and cream on the wall. And Neramofla are in those tubs, so they don't mind being kept dry. Over on my right, we've got our lily pad bridge, leads across the water through the tea tree, where you can see the wind blowing. I've got some of these and I can trim them down. I just give the hedge trimmer a go. Some days I can get it done in about 20 minutes. Just look up, down, side, down, back, done. They are pretty tough. We're due to tip the cypress overhanging on the left and right hand side of this carpet. We will tip it back. On the face away because of the wind, but behind me